You cannot afford to miss a single moment of the next hour. Get ready to have your ideas about sexuality, love, and relationships blown wide open. It's time to get educated, entertained, and enlightened, as well as sexually empowered. You have now tuned into the Tantra Love, Sex, and Intimacy Show. Now, here's your host, Tanya Diamond.
Oh, yeah, baby, that's me.
Way to go, Tanya.
Woohoo! Yeah, well, you know, tonight, everybody, I'm sick, and Josh was sick, and neither one of us are in the studio. And so there we have it. So you're hearing these. Huh?
This could be considered live on location.
This is live on location, right, exactly. Live on location from our living rooms or whatever. We are in my wool socks and all.
Nice.
We're here. We're here live with you because being dead would just not work on the radio.
Right.
Don't you think?
I do.
Yeah, I don't think that would work so well. So we're live. We're here. It's the Tantra Love, Sex, Intimacy radio show. Hopefully we're going to have some people call in and help us out since we're definitely, I'm feeling pretty pathetic. I don't know about you, Joshua, but...
Well, I'm laying on a massage table right now, but I'm working on it.
There you go. He's laying on the massage table. I'm sitting on a couch. Sam, what are you doing?
I'm just hanging out.
He's just hanging out there. So, see, he sounds great. Listen, see the difference?
There's
Sam, healthy.
I'm a strong young buck.
There he is. Oh, he is a strong young buck. Yes, ladies, you should know that. And then, you know, we've actually, except for one, we've had attractive producers. That's always fun.
I'm the exception, right?
No. You're not the exception.
Oh.
I was thinking about one. Yeah, no. And we are in the middle of the book launch for Beyond Sex Tantra, a practical guide to extraordinary living. And some of you might be saying, oh, my gosh, are we done talking about the book? No, we're not done talking about the book. There's a reason. We're having a book launch. Now, here's the thing. You know, I always tell everybody how you do this is how you do everything. And, you know, some people are like, well, yeah, what the heck does that actually mean? Well, what it means is, you know, it's easy to be cool and having a great time and loving and laughing and whatever when all things are going great.
Mm-hmm.
All right? I mean, some people can't do that. Some people are destined to be miserable even when things are fine. They're committed to unhappiness and stress or whatever their commitment there is. But for most people, you know, it's a sunny day. You're eating, you have a job, whatever. You feel pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's what you do when the chips are down and things are crazy and life is throwing you the curveballs. That's when you really know what your spiritual practice is all about.
Right.
That's really when you know what you're made of. You know, so what do you succumb to in those moments when it seems like, oh my gosh, so book launch. You know, what is a book launch? Well, book launch is where you go out, and I've determined now that what you need is 3 months, not 6 weeks.
Well, okay. We get it down. You know, we can mark that down.
Right, so 3 months is a good idea. But you go out and you gather together your partners, your people that want to help you launch your book, and you gather them all together and you send them a nice PDF that explains everything they're going to do in detail.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when the book launch is, what you need from them. And what we're doing is, you know, when you buy my book this week from Amazon.com, you go to Amazon.com, you type in Beyond Sex Tantra, there it is, you buy it, you know, you get, no, don't go to Amazon.com, never mind, see, I'm sick. Go to BeyondSexTantra.com/sales.html. Go there,
mm-hmm.
and that's /sales.html, and you click on the button to buy the book from there, it'll take you to Amazon, then we'll take you back, put in your order number, and you get entered in to win a stay in Hawaii, 7 nights. 7-night stay in Hawaii at my friend's place, resort. It's not some hokey, like, they're going to try to sell you something when you're there or anything like that. It's a bona fide stay in Hawaii.
Nice.
And not only that, but this is a woman that does a lot of dolphin adventure type things.
Oh, cool.
Right. So, I mean, she's got access to whales, dolphins, all sorts of things. And not to mention she's like a grade A chef and just a great all-over person.
Is she going to be there cooking?
You know, I don't know. I mean, she's there.
Oh, okay. She lives there.
There's like different packages. So you could upgrade. This is the basic package, but you could upgrade and you could have, a week there with being cooked for and stuff like that.
Right.
So anyway, and all these other people are providing free bonuses, downloads of their book or, interviews, different types of things, right?
Yeah.
So that's cool. I mean, it's not, it's buy the book. First of all, just buying the book is great.
Right.
But then the incentive is buy it this week, and you get all these cool things.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is pretty cool, self-explanatory, no big deal. And, we come along, we managed to get it all together. Poor Max hadn't slept in like 48 hours by the time the book launch happened.
Right.
Because there's always something you didn't remember. Oh, just, no, okay, yeah, yeah. Anyway, just that one more thing that you forgot that you needed to do. And then to come to find out, you launch it, and you're all excited, and you notice that you wonder where all the emails are, and then you find out that your joint venture partners still haven't done anything, even though you told them to, and then you're having to call them or email them and say, hey, will you send out that email to your people? Oh, yeah, I'll take care of that tomorrow. Oh, well, yeah, okay. So in the meantime, we're selling books, and Amazon decides that for some reason we're out of stock, and they're canceling everybody's orders.
Oh, my God.
They're canceling people's orders even though they've got plenty of books, because we called and found out. Yes, there's plenty of books. Well, why are you canceling orders? Oh, we don't know.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, so in the middle of, massive launch, book release, book launch, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So anyway, these are just a few of the things that have gone on the last few days. Also, don't book other jobs to go to work when you're having a book launch, because you really need to be home at your computer.
Take the day off.
Right, yeah. So all the things that we learned. So the bottom line, why am I boring you with all this stuff, is because, how you do this is how you do everything. So do you freak out?
Mm.
Do you throw things around? Do you, curse the gods and whatever? Or do you just take a breath?
What did you do?
Well, you got to take a breath.
Before or after throwing things?
No, I didn't throw anything.
Oh, I'm so proud
I
of
actually
you.
have not thrown anything. And actually, Max hasn't thrown anything either.
Wow.
Right? So
not even a fit?
No, just not even a fit. No, we're just we're taking it, he looked at me at one point and said, hey, just one step at a time. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
Right.
So we're just, taking it one step at a time. Because here's the deal that I noticed, though.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we did get both way wound, right?
Right.
Then we have our daughter.
Right.
So if we got way wound, what do you think would happen to her?
I think she'd get wound up, too.
That's right. So then she'd be freaking out, and then we'd be freaking out, and then everybody would be freaking out.
Then everything would come to a screeching halt.
Right, exactly. And, we'd break up, and, she'd move out, and,
Right. And she's not old enough to move out.
Oh, okay. Well, and in the middle of all that, my car broke down.
Right.
Okay, so my car's in the shop, and trying to get, in and out and finding, a loaner or rentals or whatever. So it's just, this is all the stuff's been going, and that happened the day before, the book launch. So things happen. And I sometimes think that I give people the impression that my life is all just like peachy keen, that, everything's great, and I'm just sitting around breathing, and,
Who did you give that impression to?
I don't know.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, but sometimes I think that, I think that people think that, if you've got it all together, so to speak. I'm not sure what all together means, but,
right.
That my life is all smooth and everything's lovey-dovey wonderful and that kind of stuff. And I'm here to tell you, everybody, that this is not the case.
No.
Now, that said, I remember when Chris on our team looked at me and said, do I want your life? You're my mentor, but do I want your life? And I'm like, well, see, what you're not getting, Chris, is how you deal with the stuff. It's how you deal with the things that are happening in your life. So a lot of you out there that are listening, they tell me that there's an economic decline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They tell me, well, in fact, Iceland. Didn't Iceland just go under or something like that?
They were.
No, they didn't? Okay. So I'd heard that Iceland was in trouble, but, people are hurting in lots of different ways. Maybe you're in a horrible toxic relationship. Maybe you're a teenager that's listening to me that's involved in drugs and you don't know how to get out. Or, you've gone bankrupt, you've lost everything. Whatever the case here, you've got to remember that this is still your life, the one you're living.
Mm-hmm.
And when you decide that you want to just go to the lowest common denominator and suck in and contract all around yourself and have a horrible experience, make it even more horrible than it already is, you're just telling the universe, you're telling yourself that there's no hope.
Mm-hmm.
You're buying into the circumstances that are surrounding you. And you don't need to do that.
You don't?
You know, and you can say to me, oh, Tanya, what do you know? You've never had anything horrible happen to you. Oh, yeah, I've been bankrupt. You know, I've had an incurable illness, you know, divorce, things happening. Yeah, you know, my life has been very full and very colorful and very, very, very.
Right. Plenty to talk about and write about, huh?
Right. I mean, you've known me for what, a year and a half?
I think so.
Right. Would you say it's a colorful life?
Definitely.
Yeah. Right. Am I hiding out trying to make sure nothing happens?
No.
No.
No, you're not hiding out, and you're not leading people to believe that it's all roses.
Right. So this is part of what, you know, why Beyond Sex Tantra, the book, A Practical Guide to Extraordinary Living. These are some of the things in this book, these 26 standalone chapters, meaning that you can just pick up the book and read one chapter and be fine. You don't have to read through the whole thing to get anything out of it. This is it. This is me compiling some of the very tools and ideas and thoughts that I've used to have the extraordinary life that I have. And I believe that I do have a very extraordinary life.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, from the depths, from the bottom to the top.
Okay.
I've made millions, lost them.
Mm-hmm.
Made some back, had, you know, love affairs, devastation. You know, I've had people die. Pretty well, if you name it. I haven't been incarcerated. But if you name it, it's probably no drug addiction, alcoholism, or incarceration has touched my life.
That's good.
I've dealt with other addictions, but not those.
Right.
So, yeah, this is it. This is the guide. So you're listening to this, and it's before the 31st of March. You got to get to BeyondSexTantra.com. At least remember that part. Mm-hmm. Or email me and say you don't remember how to buy the book, and I'll hook you up. But BeyondSexTantra.com/sales.html will get you to the sales page where you can buy the book and get in on all the goodies that we have going on. What do you say about that, Josh?
I'm excited about that. Now, I am keenly aware that I'm not eligible for this trip to Hawaii. But
yeah, bummer, huh?
Yeah, but does that mean if somebody won that, but they didn't have someone to go with them, would I? Oh, no, never mind. I'm not going to ask.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, certainly, you know, and actually that'd go for me, too. Hey, check it out, see, because I'm not eligible either. Right? But, wow, can you imagine this? You win the trip to Hawaii or the stay in Hawaii, and you think to yourself, you know, who would I like to join me?
Right.
Tanya, the internationally renowned Tantra teacher?
Yeah.
Joshua?
Yeah.
The educator co-host?
Uh-huh.
Who should I take? Wait, this sounds like that I'm on a boat. I'm starting on a boat.
Self-promoting here, but, you know.
Right.
It's good to love yourself.
Right. It is good. So I guess what we're saying is we might be up for a stay, you know, but, you know,
right.
Hanging out with either one of us for a week would be pretty amazing, very educational, and we're not offering any, other than our company.
Right.
There is no other offer on the table, so just to be clear. Other than just our company.
Just clarify.
So, Joshua.
Yes.
Well, did you have a favorite part in the book that spoke to you or that you liked? Or?
Oh, favorite part of the book.
He's scrambling around now. Wait, should I read the book?
on a day that I'm at the office, I've had a cough, and I don't have the book in front of me.
You don't have the book in front of you? I know that's pretty unfair of me to bring that up without actually having the book there.
I mean, aside from the cover?
Besides the cover. The cover's pretty cool.
The graphic that you guys did.
The graphic from the cover is pretty cool. So let me jog your memory here about some of the chapters and see if if one comes to mind. If one comes to mind here, we've got arousal of life.
Arousal of life.
Beliefs are holding you back.
Mm-hmm.
Conscious breath. Doing versus being.
One of the things that I've thought about a lot, and so part of this is just being around you. What's part of our regular conversation over, you know, hearing you talk to other people, or as we're all working on our own stuff in life. Arousal through life, yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
To be aroused by more than just what our society thinks we should be aroused by, to allow more than just intimacy, sexual intimacy, to be the factors that we feel alive with, I think is critical. So that on one level, we can desexualize arousal and allow more aspects of life to make us be excited, to help us feel good about ourselves. That when we feel aroused, we feel love for ourselves. When we feel aroused, we are enjoying what it means to be alive. And so many people have struggles when something doesn't go their way. They're depressed, or they're not loved, or they're, you have an argument with someone, or you just are feeling tired and down. And rather than going through the list of why life is horrible, okay, you may be tired and down. Take a nap, drink some water. And you can get back up on the horse of feeling good about life because you've trained yourself to gain pleasure out of more things that we experience on a daily basis.
Well, this is what we're talking about when we're talking about, extraordinary living. And when I talk about experiencing all ordinary moments as extraordinary experiences, most of us are waiting for big things to happen. Like, oh, when I finally get married, or when I finally find the love of my life, or when I finally lose that 20 pounds, or when I finally, get my bills paid off, or when I finally make enough money, or I buy my house, or I get the car, right?
Yeah, I'm doing that sarcastic head-bobbling thing.
Yeah, right, exactly. Exactly, because we're waiting around for something external to create something extraordinary for ourselves.
If you keep waiting for your life to happen, it will be gone before you find it.
Exactly. So this really, the focus of this book is teaching you how to be able to use, just like each chapter has a how-to in it that you can just start doing right away. But it's learning how to have that change, or how to live in an extraordinary experience within yourself without anything else happening. And that's just not, though you're sitting in meditation, so you're fine. No. I'm an active meditator, meaning that I meditate on what it is that I'm doing. So right now, this is an active meditation of being on the radio.
Right.
All my focus is brought here to this experience. What I'm feeling, what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, what I'm feeling, and have a good time in it. When I'm sick, I'm even the kind of same way. Wow, look, I'm sick. Isn't this curious? This is an interesting experience, feeling all these feelings in my body. Now, it doesn't always mean, extraordinary living doesn't mean everything's happy, and everything is always thrilling. It means that you're interested. It means that you're curious, like this cold. Ooh, this is interesting. So now it's in my throat and my head, and wow, it makes me feel hot, and I don't like that very much. But isn't that weird how that works? So I think there's a big element of curiosity, of having an experience and being grateful. I mean, what's the alternative? I'm not sick. My body's actually healing itself right now, right?
Right.
But we say I'm sick.
Response.
Right. My body's saying, hey, you bug, you're out of here, dude.
Right.
So I'm really thankful and in gratitude for my body's ability to do that. Max is on the line. Geez, yeah, let's talk to Max. Hey, Max.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Max.
How's it going? Well, I'm sorry to interrupt. You were on a roll there. You had some really great, positive messages.
Well, and, I'm sure they'll be, they'll come back up again. Luckily, it's, I'm not reading a script.
Oh, right. Well, that is helpful too.
So, what's going on with you today?
Oh my gosh, I have book launch stuff. I'm so glad you're so all that in the spiritual category, and you're not freaking out. Because I'll tell you what, I've got some undercurrents of angst going on over here. I'm kind of irritated, I've got to say. I mean, not that I expect anybody to care, but
we care, Max. You're working through the breath. I can hear it, and I'm proud of you.
Yeah, right on. Well, I mean, it's ridiculous. So, I mean, I could even talk about my personal, woes with like, oh my gosh, the tech stuff that I have to do. But, I noticed for me it was so much easier to just jump on the bandwagon and like get, irritated by how can Amazon I mean, number one, say it's out of stock. Number two, then start canceling orders because of X, Y, or Z. I mean, that to me is like, wow, don't they, I mean, aren't we all in this together? And anyway, so enough of that, but I was reminded of something, and I actually had a reason I called in about 5 minutes ago. I was reminded of something, and so kind of the how you do this is how you do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was remembering how, it was pretty easy for me to kind of, get derailed and focus on other things, instead of even being fully present, and how, it's like I'm so uncomfortable, maybe like all of us, I'm so uncomfortable in my own situation that I'm going to get out of my situation and look at something else to either talk about or think about or, put my energy into. And I realized as I'm learning a lot these days, doing these micro practices that are suggested in the book, which seems so simple, but then you're like, wow, when the simple things, you actually try them, pay attention, and get results. So anyway, I've come up with a lot of little, like I call them, pebbles in the pitcher, and pretty soon I'm able to drink the water because I'm practicing so many little, what are you calling them, micro practices that you teach in the book? Each chapter has one?
Well, each chapter has a how-to, and they are kind of micro practices. I like to really think of, we don't need more hour-long practices. We don't need more hour-long things to do in our days that are already too full. What we need are moments. We need moments here and there that we can utilize and to change overall. Like you said, even, you're doing a little things here and there, but they lead to profound experiences.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, everybody, that's my call waiting.
Oh, joy.
So they lead to amazing moments, even when they are just small things. I don't know why we think everything has to be so huge. Like, if it's not huge, it's not worthy. And that's because we all want to get a bigger house, and a more expensive car. We want everything bigger except for our bodies, as women. Women are trying to get small bodies. Everybody else is trying to get bigger everything. It's kind of crazy. And so we don't really need these big things. We need these micro practices, doable, things that are actually doable, that we will do every day to create the change. So is there one in particular, Max, you have done that you feel is helpful?
Well, yeah. Micro practices in business lingo mean achievable results,
Mm-hmm.
So I look at it certainly as, for example, being aware of my breathing throughout the day. When I am starting to feel, whether I feel a little derailed or I feel like I need more focus or I feel tired or I just don't feel like I'm producing enough, I take a moment, I focus on my breath and connect. I guess focus is maybe not the right word. For me, it's about connecting. So connect with my breath. How does it feel coming in? Is it steady? And then pretty soon I can feel my heartbeat again. I can almost hear it in my ears. And then I know it's like I feel that I'm all connected up and I have a state of presence or feeling of presence. And then sometimes, answers to problems come in. I've been working on something that's been churning away in the back of my mind. I get a new answer, or I just feel better, or I feel more clear or less tired. And I've been able to, do more, feel better, and amazingly, just by stopping, taking a moment, especially when I'm in a hurry, especially when I'm feeling pushed up against a wall, I get better results, more productivity, and I bring more to the moment when I do stop, take a breath, and connect with my breathing and the feelings in my body. It's amazing to me.
Yeah. Well, and, I know it's amazing, and people email me or call me and say, I've been doing what you said of those micro practices, and my gosh, everything's changing. How is that possible?
That's why you said micro practice.
Right. Well, I wouldn't be telling you to do them if it didn't work. First of all, you got to know something about me. I'm not, I'm very interested in adding value to everybody's life. I am more interested in, you're getting results than I am in just about anything else, because I'm on a mission, to help the planet heal. Now, maybe you think that's egocentric, that I'm on a mission to help the planet heal. But really, my daughter's going to live in this world. She is living in this world. All of you, the things that I love the most, are living in this world. And if we don't jump on some kind of bandwagon to help the healing, to help assist in the healing, to provide tools that will do that, we're just not going to get anywhere. We're getting worse and worse. We're in serious, serious trouble. Now, there's a lot of people doing a lot of different things, right? We've got people that are doing past lives. We got people that are doing this and sound and this and that. And, and I'm certified in just so many things it isn't funny. But here's something I need to tell you. All of these things, whether or not your past life had anything to do with anything, we're living in the real world right now, right here, right now. Even if you were abused as a child, we're talking your past, right? Anything that's happened in your past, anything, this life, last life, a million lives ago, you right now are personally responsible for evoking change right now. Okay, so I don't want any excuses anymore from anybody. I'm really kind of done with that. If somebody's giving you a tool that says, hey, if you use these micro practices, if you use breath work, and you actually do it and you actually use it, you will get results. You'll get results. Now, you could say, hey, Tanya, so I don't want to follow your path, whatever. Then I don't care. Follow somebody's. But the thing that everybody needs to understand is every process can work if you work it. Why do we give up? We start in on things. Maybe we have a feeling or something changes. We freak out and we stop doing it and sit around and complain about how things aren't working out. And we've got to be done with that. We have to be done with our complaining. We have to start moving forward. We have to take what we can do, what we can, and do it. Now, whether it's buying this book, in the book I say knowledge is overrated. And I'm actually talking about this chapter kind of right now. I talk about how, we go to workshops, we buy self-help books, we do all this stuff, and when we don't do the process, we go, wow, that sounds nice, and we don't do anything about it. 3% of anybody that takes a workshop or a self-help workshop or anything, only 3% of people will actually go on to do the process.
Mm.
Tony Robbins reports 5%.
Yeah, right. 5% for Tony Robbins. And he's teaching this bang-up amazing stuff. This is the big thing. He's like, how do we get people to do this? Nobody knows. So I'm saying I've distilled it down to the most simple format on the flippin' planet, people. Micro practices. If you don't have a minute or 2 minutes several times a day to change your circumstances, nobody can help you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bottom line. Quit spending your money on other processes. It's time to wake up. It's time to just quit spending your money or your time on doing anything if you're not actually going to do anything.
Well, pretty strong words there, huh?
Right. Well, take responsibility. Say, you know what? I'm happy being where I am because really I don't want to work hard at changing anything.
We have a statement in the healing process with hypnotherapy. How's that working for you?
Right. Yeah.
When someone's holding on to their circumstance, and I do my best to say it without being sarcastic or anything like that, but really, if someone's unhappy and you say, just stay there. Like, well, but that's why I want to. No, just stay there until you're ready to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then people say they're going to do something, and they do part of it. But once again, it's because a lot of times we think the thing we need is huge. Okay? Take losing weight. Let's say I got to lose 50 pounds. Okay, for most people, that's huge amount, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if you have to lose 10, that might be like a huge amount for you. What if you say, I'm going to lose half a pound? I'm going to lose half a pound this week, I'll lose half a pound next week. What if you divide these things up? I was thinking about this with my relationship, and so I'm kind of, in all of life, I'm chilly. I am like the chill person, right? Things happen, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. It takes quite a bit to get me ruffled, and it has to be a lot of things on top of the other. And even then, I might get ruffled, and then I'm right back to it, right?
Right.
Except for in relationship, apparently, if I have a day or 2 days of my relationship aren't going like some fairy tale, I freak out. Catastrophize. What's the word? Catastrophize. What's the word, people?
You portray it as a catastrophic event.
Thank you. And
I think the word you were trying to invent was catastrophize.
Yeah, there we go. I like that word. I was trying to invent a word there, and it wasn't working so well. But, like all of a sudden, if I think about it in the grand scheme of the next 40 years, okay, just chill out.
What?
It's like, okay, so you have an issue, a couple of days, it's a little rocky or things aren't perfect. It's like not the end of the universe.
Right.
Why is it that in all the rest of my life I feel that way? But in relationship, I still panic.
Personal stuff is on the table.
That's right.
I've got a thought about that.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about this, and this comes into the way the mind really works. And, it's not such a bad thing that, if you're having some issues that span a couple of days, that you're ready to freak out. See, because a person's mind, certainly the most powerful part of the mind, the subconscious mind, doesn't really perceive a past, present, and future.
Right.
When you say that we are plagued by our past problems, and you say we're living in the past, it's because we are living in the past. We carry all that stuff with us, and we bring it into the present moment. So that is actually present with us in the moment. The mind doesn't, until it actually works through a problem or breathes through a problem, doesn't really understand.
Right.
So we're still susceptible to it. So for you, you're saying, well, in terms of the next 40 years, what's a couple of days? Well, things are oftentimes only as good as they are today. There's another person who says, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I'll do it. Oh, today's reasonable. I'll just do it tomorrow. And if you weren't the kind of person you were, you could find yourself in that kind of a perpetual cycle. So I think that it's your keenness and I wouldn't call it your training, but your presence in the moment where it is a big deal to you, because that's all you have. You don't have 40 years. You have the now. That is where action happens.
Yep.
Right? Not to take away from your point.
No, that's very true. And thank you for giving me a different perspective on that, because I guess, and that is partly why I do feel that panic is, in my world, how I live my life is that any moment, any of us may not be there.
Mm.
And so not from a state of, oh my God, panic, I'm scared, but from a state of gratitude, like, we're living in the now, this is the moment we have, we don't know what's going to happen next. So I don't like situations to go unresolved with my lover or my partner or my child. I don't like, I do not like to go to bed with any situations that are unresolved. I don't like to leave the house with situations that are like that, because I don't know if I'm coming back.
Mm.
And so it does tend to give me a little bit of a, I use the word hyper drive around that. I like situations to be resolved, get fixed, and move on. I don't like things to linger. So I guess one thing you could say about me is that I'm certainly not going to be one of the 40 million sexless couples that 10 years later say, gosh, I guess we should talk about our sex life.
You mean talk about something sooner than later?
Well, that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Like, what you're talking about?
Have the guts to, bring it up. If something doesn't seem like it's going well, maybe there should be some communication around it.
Is that one of the micro practices in the book?
I bet you it is. I don't know, if I talk about communication in the book, which is kind of interesting, but I certainly have articles on it. And,
right.
So, Max, do you have anything else for us there?
No, I think that's about it. I wanted to put my word in on the breathing, and I'm glad I got to comment on something else. Very pleased to be part of this book launch. I hope everybody gets the message on that and understands what a great thing it is to actually just have the book, and hopefully we'll see some participation. I think it's a great thing. I've read it myself. It's awesome.
We also have a blog. You can go on to learningtantra.com/blog.
Uh-huh.
And there's a video that's been made there, and you can make comments on the book launch and or the book or us on the radio or anything you want, really. And that's learningtantra.com/blog, B-L-O-G.
Okay,
all right, we're going to take... What?
Oh, I was going to say thanks for having me, but go ahead.
You're welcome, and we're going to go ahead and take a short break, and we will be back in just a few moments.
I'm too sexy for your party, too sexy for your party. The way I'm disco dancing, I'm a model, you know what I mean, and I do my little turn.
Are you one of the 40 million sexless couples in the U.S.? Are you wondering why having sex leaves you feeling lonely? Are you suffering from the myths of sexual dysfunction? Do you know in your heart that there has to be more than what you're currently getting out of making love? To rid yourself of sexual ignorance, get more out of your lovemaking, and find out more about spiritual sexual connection, then you need to check out www.thetantrateacher.com to receive your free copy of the ebook called Secrets of the Tantra Teacher. Don't suffer another minute without the sexual loving and ecstatic bliss you were born to receive. Get to www.thetantrateacher.com right now. That's www.thetantrateacher.com.
Did you know that you can rate this show on iTunes? The show you're listening to right now. It's true. You can leave your thoughts about the show, the topic, the guest. You can even leave a suggestion. Then, before you leave, rate the show. The hosts love hearing from you, so next time you download this show from iTunes, leave your thoughts and rate the show for the host and for others. You know, there are many things in the world that could not happen without people believing in other people, products, service, vision, passion, and more. And that holds true with the sponsors of Contact Talk Radio. You hear us say, making contact with what matters to you. That's not just a statement, it's what we believe. ContactTalkRadio.com has been broadcasting intriguing, lighthearted, informational shows around the world for many years, much of which would not happen without our sponsors. You too can benefit from our sponsors by checking them out on the website at www.contacttalkradio.com. Click on Sponsors. There you can browse the many companies who continue to flourish and pave the way for more businesses and give a helping hand to a growing economy. Contact Talk Radio applauds our sponsors for their support. You too can become a sponsor and add your support to the cause. To learn how, go to the website at www.contacttalkradio.com and click on Sponsor or email info@contacttalkradio.com.
I'm too sexy for your party, too sexy for your
Body, as we were coughing and snarfing.
Right.
I don't know. Do you feel real too sexy for yourself right now?
I don't know. I was told earlier today that I'm sporting a very sexy voice.
Yeah.
Which, having this deep, I've got to find out who to do voiceovers for, because when I get a cold, it is the ideal time for me to have that bass voice.
Right.
Either that or if I talk with a Southern or Baltimore accent, then I can be heard clearly.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm having the sexy voice yet.
You're not feeling
I've one of the somebody emailed me that they really enjoyed my shows last year. I mean, how long was I sick for? It was like that period of time where I was for like 2 months.
Right.
Yeah, and somebody'd come in during that time, and then my voice changed as I got better, and they were like, "What happened?" It's like, yeah, right, thanks.
Right.
I got better.
That was healthy.
So we're talking about the, the book launch, the book launch. How you do this is how you do everything. All the things that can go wrong in the world. And, I just keep reminding myself, of course, that, it's not a life crisis.
Yeah.
And that's how I do that, basically. I breathe. I'm in the moment. I talk. I remind myself that even if I think it's a big deal, that it's not really a big deal.
Well, no matter what environment, if it's in your family and household, when things are really struggling, if you take every moment too seriously and freak out, then everyone around you learns that's how you deal with stuff. And
Right.
They don't actually learn how to deal with it, let alone prepare themselves for when they're out of it. So it creates a shock state.
Yeah.
One of my friends and longtime client who moved down to California was just here today. And one of the things that she's gone to law school, and there are plenty of opportunities to freak out. She constantly is telling her classmates when they don't get the placement they wanted for an internship or what have you. Just think about that for a minute. There might be something better on its way that you're more prepared for. And time again, with her sage advice, wow, not freaking out, thinking about what's coming might be even better than what I thought I was getting. And lo and behold, they always find a great opportunity that's more suited to their skill set, that gives them a piece they were missing.
Well, this really has to do with focus on self. We tend, like I started this whole thing off with people being so focused on the outward, so focused on the external,
right?
Either that makes them unhappy or makes them happy,
right?
And we need to really kind of bring it in more. We need to really understand that the diversity. There's that whole thing about non-attachment. Well, I'm not sure, how I really feel about that. I know it's a nice catchphrase, non-attachment, and then you have these people that believe that means you go out and you share love and sex with people, but you don't get attached to them and just move on.
No, that's not what I thought.
Yeah, that's not really what non-attachment means.
That creates a little trouble.
Right. Non-attachment really is more about being solid in yourself and not placing expectations on others. Well, take sexual arousal. Okay, wow, you turn me on, you make me hard, you make me this, you make me that. Making somebody else responsible for your arousal.
Right.
And then, what do you do with that? Well, then if you don't have it, it's devastating. If you get rejected, it's devastating. If you can't find anybody, it's devastating. And there's no personal accountability.
Right.
No personal responsibility in there. How about just living in arousal and being able to share that with somebody?
And that person then, if you do get into a relationship with that person, they're both responsible for getting you turned on and satisfying you.
Right.
And how's that working for all those couples out there?
Well, a lot of people are in a lot of trouble around all this, aren't they?
Failures in communication on how to meet their own needs, let alone each other's needs.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Well, speaking of the whole, get somebody else off, there was this realization. I was trying to see if I'd written it down anywhere, but I really haven't written it down. I was talking about thinking about how women can have talk about a segue here. Women can have a sexual tension release orgasm. So,
right.
Without actually being turned on. So they can have that sexual tension release, but have none through the clitoris, and have no moisture, no engorgement, or anything else.
Right.
Pretty weird, huh?
Well, I mean, I don't find it weird, but it's limited in level of satisfaction,
right,
and connection,
right.
And again, talking about our topics on addiction and forms of stimulus, that many women in our culture just think that that's it, and they have no idea that there's more to it, both in breadth and depth of satisfaction. And the whole majority of the experience is contractive. The closer you get, the tighter the breathing is and the tighter the body is. And so thinking that that's actual orgasm, whereas that's just a build-up to release, whereas real orgasm is a more integrated experience in the body with breath and connection with the body. So then when, whether that tension release orgasm was solo or with a lover, with a lover, that's a conflict because you could look like you're really aroused,
right,
but you're not wet. And so then, wow, who's supposed to judge themselves based on whether or not they're doing a good job? And is she aroused enough to actually be into it? And then you have a circumstance where how often can you do that and feel good? So you have couples getting excited initially and then kind of waning off of their interest in sex because it's just not that worth it.
Well, and then you said something that will definitely get everybody going. You said something about, a real orgasm.
Uh-oh. Am I in trouble now?
Release is not a real orgasm. You're going to have people, freaking out. So,
hey, if you want me to help you test the theory, I'm available. Call in.
So what I'd like to say, instead of saying it's a real orgasm or not, I mean, it's kind of, any anything that makes you feel good, you can call an orgasm, is really fine, right?
Right.
I mean, we're not trying to take anything away from somebody. What we want to do is say there's a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know I've said that too. That's not really an orgasm. That's a sexual tension release.
Right.
I realize if I say that, these poor people that are just having that, if I take that away from them too, then they're really freaking out.
One more performance anxiety for you.
Right, exactly. So it's like, put it this way. It's one form of orgasm, but it's created in tension instead of relaxation.
Right.
And you can have one and still not be engorged or aroused.
Right.
So, and that's really the point I wanted to make, is that here we are. We're all orgasm obsessed here, especially in the United States. And yet this woman can do that and still actually not have been aroused and not really be engorged and not really be feeling fabulous, and is certainly not going to reach any type of spiritual enlightenment in that way.
Mm.
If you're using tantric union for holding the hands of God, it's not going to work that way.
Right.
That's not it. So what I want you to take away from all this is just the fact that there's so many different things out there, and it all leads back to self. So one of my inner circle guys today, Ron McIlvain, Filter Sure, and I were talking about, do a lot of talk about business. His company is really just booming. I mean, this is a man whose technology is going to heal the planet's water. I mean, this is huge. I might, you might Nobel Prize winner and stuff like that at some point. And we talk a lot about business. So I'm doing business coaching with him. And, every once in a while he says, and this has what to do with women and all that. And I said, well, Ron, how you do this is how you do everything. And I said, how you command yourself in a boardroom is definitely how you command yourself in the bedroom. I said, how you size people up, how you talk to them, the energy you hold around them, it's the same thing. And he was laughing because I said, for instance, how's your homework coming along? And he's like, oh, Tanya, he's laughing and laughing. He goes, I am definitely my own best lover.
Awesome.
I am my own best lover. He goes, I'm telling you, this is an amazing thing. And he says, I get it when you're talking about how we need to be in those self states. And this is a man who's using all these techniques that I teach in the boardroom for business, catapulted his business in less than a year internationally.
Phenomenal change.
Right. And, he'll be, at some point, there'll be a household name attached to what he's doing. And you guys on the radio go, wow, I remember when she was talking about it when he first started out.
Right.
So, extraordinary living. Some people would say, well, I'm okay with what I'm doing. What do you think about that?
Some people would say I'm okay with what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. They listen to us, but they're just kind of listening for entertainment.
Well, that's true in the right now, but put me on the phone with that person when they're having that moment where they're feeling bored. They're feeling, is this all there is? I think everyone, I've had people say, we're happy with how it is right now, but how many people in our culture always have to have alcohol in their hand when they've got free time? That's
or
a lack
cigarette.
of satisfaction in the moment. Lack of
a cigarette,
satisfaction
a
with
joint,
free time.
Porn,
Right.
Another person, food.
So I would venture to say that person says, I'm happy with how things are. I think that's a person that underestimates what their actual level of satisfaction is, or overestimates maybe.
Well, wouldn't that be true? If we're not really feeling, if we're not really connected, then we don't really know what we're feeling anyway?
Yeah.
We're just kind of going along unconsciously?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. And then somebody would say to me, well, why can't you just be content? Why can't we just be content?
Why aren't we just content? I mean, how many people aren't? And, you can have spiritual disciplines that say how to be happy with what you got.
We kind of have to be, in a sense, that you have to do that practice, though. You have to be in gratitude of what you have right now before anything shifts.
Absolutely. I mean, being in gratitude for what you have, and at the same time, life is exceptional.
Right.
It has the opportunity to be exceptional. It doesn't have to be exceptional all the time, but at the same moment, if you experience high qualities of gratitude often enough, then, how many people are seeing therapists? And we could say again and again and again, self-love is important. The ability to actually have a positive sense of self is important. Many people are challenged in honestly being able to be in a place of good self-awareness and good self-care.
Well, and you know why?
Why?
Because nobody is teaching their kids and their teenagers how to do this. Okay? We just recently started the no complaining, appreciation thing.
Right.
So, we talk in family meetings. It's like, so we're not going to complain. We're going to be happy with what things are, and then we can negotiate or talk about what we want.
Right.
But still be appreciative and gratitude for what's going on.
Right.
And know that things change. So when we say have gratitude for what you have, you might say, well, Guy, I'm sitting here broke, I've lost my house, whatever. Okay, I want you to find something you're have gratitude for.
Sure.
It doesn't mean that you're saying, I want to live this way the rest of my life. But what you are saying is if you can find gratitude for what you have, and if you can find happiness and extraordinary life as you are, then you'll always have it.
Yeah.
You'll never have to do with other circumstances. Did you say we had 2 minutes there, Sam? 3 minutes, okay. And that's really what it's about, is learning how to understand that you are everything you need. And then how cool it is to share all those things with somebody else and other people.
Yeah.
It's not independence, it's interdependence.
Yeah.
So I've been I have this little thing that I'm doing that I'm having a good time with, making little videos. I don't know if you've seen any of them yet, but I've got a couple for Beyond Sex Tantra. But one of the things that, I'm making these little videos, and they're little slide video clips that kind of, talk about the book, or show issues with the book, or issues. There are no issues with the book. Thank you. And one of the things that I've coined, or one of the things we're talking about now is, Beyond Sex Tantra, get a real life.
Ooh, get a real life.
Right. So not just get a life, because we all have one of those.
Right.
But what's a real, as in capital, real life? What's a real life?
Do you have to go to a realtor and get one of those?
No. You don't know realtors involved. No, but what about authenticity, huh?
Authenticity, being honest with myself and others?
Yeah, being authentic, actually experiencing a real life of your feelings, a real life of your impact on the world, a real life of your impact on yourself.
Wow.
Paradigm shift. What's a real life? Anyway, so we're all about that. Modern Tantra, get a real life.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it too.
There's some attitude to it.
Yeah, you noticed I was a little fired up today.
Yeah, I did notice that.
That's all right, using that energy to be fired up, because I'm faced with those situations where people are not taking charge and not being accountable and being sheep and wanting to be led. And I'm like, come on, people. We want everybody to be leaders and healers. And that doesn't mean, you can be a leader and a healer from your own living room or tending your garden. You don't have to get out there and do crazy things if you don't want to. But being a leader and a healer means that you are working on self-actualization.
Right.
That you're working on your change and your growth and your experience, because you are the pebble and you are the ripple in the pond when you fall into it. So when you change one little thing, everything around you will change as well. When you evoke, and that means for the good or the worse. So understand that if you're in a crappy situation right now, probably you had a hand in that. That means, that should make you feel good. That means you have a hand in getting out of it. Beyond Sex Tantra, a practical guide to extraordinary living. Get to BeyondSexTantra.com. Get to BeyondSexTantra.com/sales.html. That's sales/sales.html. Get the book. Get it this week. Win lots of cool prizes, or get entered to win lots of cool prizes and get some cool ones without entering. Just get there. And, if there's a technical difficulty, then take charge and email me and tell me about it.
Go right to the source and get taken care of.
Yeah, it's the source, baby. And we will be back next week. And, go buy the book. You'll be thrilled you did. I hear it's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I've read parts of it.
Yeah, okay, everybody.
All right.
We'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye-bye.
You have been listening to the Tantra Love, Sex, and Intimacy Show with your host, Tanya Diamond. Visit our website at www.tanyadiamond.com. That's TANJA for more information on workshops and classes.